everybody. Welcome to I Am Yoga's I Am Flow with me. My name is Rachel. If we haven't met yet, welcome to practice with me. Thank you so much for joining me from the comfort of my living room. So to get started, we're going to make our way onto our mats, laying back. And if you're just joining now, all we're doing is getting onto our backs, laying down with legs straight or legs in diamond shape. Any way you'd like, just make yourself comfortable. All right. If you want to turn on some of your own music, please feel free to go ahead and do that. If you have any sort of distractions, remove them. Get them out of your space so that you can stay here for the full 45 to 50-minute practice. All right, so we're going to give folks a few more minutes to get started. It is going to be a flow, as in you're going to be moving quite a bit, synchronizing breath to movement. If you are newer here, that's completely fine. I'll be sure to offer some modifications. But if you are an advanced yogi, I'll also provide modifications so that you can start to spice up your practice whenever we're in basic poses as well, like plank or side planks. I'll make sure to throw in things. Okay. Still waiting just a few more minutes. I'm going to come around and check the screen. Okay. Hi, everyone. Folks joining, I see some names. So I'm gonna wave at you. Hi. Hello. Okay, guys. So, laying on the back, can we start to take a deep breath in through the nose? Feel the belly expand. And just hold it up top. And then slowly let go, emptying the breath all the way to the base of your spine. Relax your shoulders. Inhale in through your nose. And then a deep exhale out, relaxing the shoulders. Release your day. Whatever it was like, let it go. Inhaling through your nose. And taking a deep exhale out, emptying to the base of your spine. Slowly, can you bring your hands over your head? Releasing legs, toes, in to the front of your space. Inhaling, getting long through the entire body. And then as you exhale, take a deep sigh out, relax, melting into your space. Inhale, get long again through the body, flexing toes, or rather pointing toes, pointing fingers. And then slowly exhaling, finding a release. Let go. When you're ready, we bring both knees in towards the chest, hands at your shin bones to slowly begin rocking side to side. With your eyes closed, can you begin to tune into how this feels for you? So if you've been sitting all day, perhaps working from a desk at home, can you think of opening your knees apart slightly, giving your hips a bit more space? All of us together will stamp your tailbone down to the mat. Knees slowly moving further and further apart. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then as you exhale, can you pull the knees closer towards the floor? Let your shoulders go. Good. One more. Inhaling through the nose. Can you get a little fuller, a little deeper? And then as you exhale, further relax through your shoulders. I know you're still holding something there. Good. When you're ready, please reach for the outsides of the feet to find happy baby. Now again, close your eyes and just tune into how this feels. I think often we forget to just feel because we're just moving mindlessly, especially if you're moving fast. So here, even when we're not doing all that much, there's a lot that's going on. So again, taking some time to breathe, preparing yourself for movement-based meditation, because really in yoga, we're practicing mindfulness first and foremost, in my opinion. Taking another breath on your own here, happy baby. Good. From here, knees draw together, hands to the backs of your legs, rocking up and down the spine to land on the tailbone, then the shoulders, about 3 times. Good, and then at your last rock, rolling over your shin bones, coming into tabletop position. So if you take a look over at me, you see that instead of sinking my shoulders down and keeping in a lazy pose, I push hands into my mat, thinking of lifting through my upper back, keeping my gaze down in between my thumbs. Good, as I stand on my hands and on my knees. As you inhale, lift up into cow pose, look forward, look up at the ceiling, and then as you exhale, cat pose, pushing into your hands. Take a deep exhale out. Good. Inhale to lift up into cow pose. Can you tilt your head way back? And then as you exhale, drop the head, finding cat pose. Good. Inhale to lift up. Last cow. And then as you exhale, finding cat. Curve through the spine more. Push into hands. Good. From here, tucking the toes to lift kneecaps off the mat about 1 inch. From here, added challenge is to lift right toes off the mat, extending right leg, hold. Nothing else changes in the body. Switching the feet. So right toes down, left leg starts to lift and extend. If you're skipping these added challenges, no problem. We just hold in floating tabletop. All right, all of us meet in floating tabletop. Slowly, beginning to find downward facing dog. Feel free to move in any way that calls out to you to begin to settle deeper into this posture. If you need to, bending the knees, straightening through the spine first, and then lowering the heels down. The first goal is not straight legs. The first goal is open back, long spine. Good. Can you broaden through the upper back a little more, spreading the collarbones, or rather the shoulders apart? Take another inhale, exhale here. I'm imagining you breathing. Good. From here, can we inhale into first high plank? Now in high plank, we make sure that the shoulders are over your wrists. The thighs and knees, instead of sinking low because my lower back is arching, or my bum is lifting too high, I think of becoming a long flat board. Driving my heels back as I lift my thighs, my kneecaps a little higher. Good. Added challenge. Lift your right toes off the mat, squeezing right glutes as you balance on your hands and your left foot. Switching it up, land the right toes down as you lift the left leg, point the left toes. Can you make sure you're pressing into both hands? Really good. Keep going for another 3. Good. 2. Good. And 1. All toes on the floor. Slow lower down to your belly and chest. Good. Take a moment to move your hands alongside your lower ribs. Firmly pressing into the mat with your hands. Squeeze elbows together as you lift the chest in baby cobra. And then exhale to lower. Land the forehead onto the mat. Good. Inhaling up, lifting the chest. Instead of looking back or looking up, can you look down, keeping your neck long? Good. Lower down all the way to your chest. Inhaling back into your baby cobra. Perhaps floating the palms off of the mat, keeping the tops of your feet on the mat. Good. Lowering all the way down, forehead rests last. From here, option to come up into plank from knees or toes. Exhale, find downward facing dog. Holding here in downward facing for 3. Good. For 2. Yay. And for 1. Beginning to inhale, finding high plank. Now again in high plank, if you are looking for an added challenge, perhaps this time, right toes off the mat, finding tree pose legs. If that's not your jam today, hold high plank as normal. Again, focus on pushing into the mat, hands. Good, if you're in tree pose, legs, switch it up. Left leg comes into to tree pose. Good. Keep going, real strong. 2. Good. And for 1. Knees down onto the mat. Nothing else changes. Just lower your chest down. Hover. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold. And then roll over the toes to find downward facing dog. Good, bending the knees and then straightening them out. Good. With your mouth open, take in a deep inhale. And then sigh out loud. One more. Inhaling through your nose. And then a deep sigh out. Good. Bending the knees, looking forward. Stepping or hopping to the top of your space. Good. Inhale to come up halfway up, flat back. Exhale to fold over the legs. Good. Inhale to swing your arms forward and up. Exhale to fold over the legs. Beautiful. Inhale to come up halfway up. As you exhale, press palms onto the mat. Step or hop into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, find downward facing. Good. Bending the knees. And then slowly straightening them out. With your fingertips, imagine sliding a tray away from you as you lengthen the arms. Good. Elbow creases. So the eye of the elbow wants to face forward. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your space. Inhale to come up halfway up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swing your arms forward and up, get long. And then exhale, fold over the legs. Good. Inhale to come up halfway up. Exhale, press palms into the mat, step or hop into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Good. And then exhale, roll over the toes. Find downward facing. Loud breaths. I can't hear you, but I'm imagining it. You can hear me. 2. Good. For 1, bend the knees. Look forward, step or hop to the top of your space. Inhale to come up halfway up. And then as you exhale, we fold. Hang your head heavy. Nod, yes, good. Inhale to swing your arms forward and up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come up halfway up. As you exhale, we step or hop into chaturanga. Slide upward facing dog. Let's hold here for a little longer. Good. Roll over the toes to find downward facing. Now in downward facing, can you slowly begin to inhale right leg high? Now as you hold the right leg up, if your shoulders are twisting, can you think of squaring them to the front of your space? And then when you're ready, bend the knee, drive the right knee high. As you squeeze the right glutes and try to drive the heel to your left sit bone. Good. One more inhale here. As you exhale, bring knee in towards the nose. Now here, your knee and nose will likely not touch, but can you think of crunching in the knee closer in towards your chest? Good, push into the ground, and then inhale leg all the way back up. Really good. Try that again. Inhale, knee towards the nose. I promise there's a purpose to this. Keep holding it. Equal weight in the palms. And then begin to lift leg all the way back up. Good. Last one. Pull the knee in towards your nose. Hold. For 3. Good. Push. Kind of like cat spine. 2. Good. And 1. Slowly place the foot in between your palms. If you lifted your leg, that's called expectations. And then lower the left knee down onto the mat. As you can see, you can double up the mat if you want to. And then begin to come up into low lunge. Now here in low lunge, my hands are at my hips to kind of give me support and awareness of where they are. Begin to rock, sinking weight forward, and then back, forward, and then back. As you go forward, stop here. And then can you think of driving left hip slightly more front in your space as you push the right hip slightly more back. Press your pubic bone down, extend the knee past the right ankle. Begin to lift your arms so that the biceps hover alongside the ears. Looking up, we bring awareness to the core as well as you pull the navel close in toward the spine. Good. Can you extend the knee even further past the ankle? Feel the front of your left hip stretch. Good. From here, frame the front foot. Step it back into plank. And then slow lower down through chaturanga. Slide forward, inhale, upward facing. And then as you exhale, front downward facing dog. Breathing full breaths. And again, choosing to bend the knees and then straightening it out on your own. When you're ready, we begin to inhale, lift left leg high. Again, shoulders are square to the front of your space. As you bend the left knee back, and you squeeze that bum a lot. Think of pointing the knee a little higher. Drive the heel to your sit bone. Good. Now, step by step, slowly breaking it down to see how much further you can go. From there, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring knee in towards the chest. Now the knee and nose won't touch, but we try. Good. Pushing into your hands equally. Really get light. Good. Inhale, like all the way back up. And then as you exhale, we pull the knee in towards the chest. Or rather towards the nose, but thigh into the chest. Good. Inhaling all the way back up. This is the last one. Exhale, knee towards the nose, hold. Equal weight in the palms. Make sure you're standing on your hands here. And then step the foot in between the hands. Really good. Lowering right knee down to find low lunge. If you're breathing heavily, calming down the breath all on your own as you begin sinking weight forward and then moving it back. And then doing that on your own. Hands can be at the hip bones to help you find alignment. Again, remembering to breathe. I guess you'll be reminded because I like to breathe heavy in class and obviously at home. Good. And then from here, can you sink forward as much as you can? So you will extend the knee past your ankle again. We drive the right hip more forward, face it forward as the left hip sinks back. From here, arms come back alongside the ears in our low lunge. Again, thinking of awareness here at our trunk, at our center, as you pull navel closer in toward the spine. As you actively press your pubic bone down, feel the front of your right hip stretch. Good. From here, slowly framing the front foot, stepping it back to high plank. Lowering forward and down into chaturanga. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And then rolling over the toes to find your downward facing. Good. Bend the knees. And then straighten. Open the front or the upper back. Broaden it up. And hold for another inhale. And then an exhale. Just scanning yourself physically, mentally, pulling yourself back onto the mat if you've left for a little bit. Good. Inhaling to lift right leg high. Exhaling, pull knee in towards the nose. Step the foot in between your hands. Inhale to come up to high lunge. Remembering these actions of scissoring the hips as you sink the weight down, can you straighten the back leg a little more? Feel the front of the left hip stretch. Good. As you start to lower hand to frame the front foot, can you now come to the outsides of both feet? way you're facing. I hope you kind of can see what I'm doing easily. Second option is to find tree pose legs, or simply to stack your feet, or to lift the leg. Just focus on lifting the hips as high as you can. Keep going. For 3, 2, and 1. Let's lower into your high plank. Lower chaturanga. Slide forward, find inhale, upward facing. Beautiful. Exhale, downward facing. Keep going. Holding for 3. Good. 2. And 1. Inhale to lift your left leg high. Good work. Exhale, lean towards the nose. Step the foot in between your hands. Coming up into high lunge again. Remembering that cue of scissoring the hips, pulling navel into spine, and then sinking the pubic bone down a little bit more as you stretch out through the right front hip. It helps to drive the right heel back on this side. Feeling a tugging sensation at your quad. Good. And then from here, as you lower hands to frame the front foot, come to the outsides of both feet. Again, first option is to help yourself with your left foot. Find tree, stack, or lift. Whatever you do, lifting the hips high. Holding for 3. Good. 2. And 1. Coming into your plank. Lower forward and down chaturanga. Sliding upward facing dog. Good. And then rolling over the toes. Deep breath out. Landing in down dog. Good. Bend the knees. And then slowly straighten the legs. Relax your shoulders. Good. Close your eyes. Imagine 2 hands resting at your traps, pulling your shoulder blades away, or rather your shoulder heads away from one another. Good. Broad, open upper back. Deep breath in through your nose. And then an exhale. Good. From here, can you begin to lift your right leg high? Exhale, pull knee in towards the nose. Step the foot in between your hands. Coming into a runner's lunge right away. Can you keep your triceps on as you hug them in towards your spine? We pull the right hip back, thinking of scissoring the hips. Good. Can you begin to rock your weight back and then come a little forward? If your belly is resting on your thigh, lift it off. Keep it active. Good. Sink your weight slightly back and then move forward. Now, as you move forward, come to your left toes, left toe tips. Really good. From here, beginning to lower your left palm down to the inner edge of right foot, twisting open to the right, lifting right arm high, finding a twisted lunge. Good. Holds. Continuing to pull the right hip back as you scissor the hips. When you're ready, coming to the outsides of your left foot to come back into your side plank, different variation. Good. If you're lifting the leg, again, focus on lifting the hips first, pressing into the hand, and then try the leg lift. Step by step, not rushing through to get to your goal. Good. When you're ready, coming into plank, lower forward and down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Very good. Exhale, finding downward facing. Hold. Breathing for 3. I'm going to catch my breath because it's hard to talk and do this all at the same time, I gotta say. 2. Good. And for 1. Slowly lifting your left leg high. Exhaling, bringing it towards the nose. And then step the foot in between your palms. Good. From here, we come into runner's lunge. Now, as you keep your gaze down at your front big toe. So again, as you keep your gaze down, we avoid craning the neck back and then bending right here. Keep it all long. On this side in runner's lunge, again, to remind you to hug your triceps in and pull the left bum back as the right moves forward. If the belly is resting on the thigh, lift it off, hold. Good. From here, sink the weight slightly back to the back heel, and then move it forward. Good. Move back. Like you're kind of, what's that word when you're, anyways, I forget what the word is. Moving forward to the front, or the right toe tips. We're at the front of our space. Whoops. All right. From here, can you begin to frame the front foot? Lower right palm down to the inner edge of left foot. Twist, lifting left arm high into your twisted lunge. Good. Hold. For 2 more. And 1. Coming to the outside of the right foot. Slowly beginning to find side plank. Find a different variation. Again, to remind you, if you're lifting the leg, push hands, lift hips, then leg moves up. Hold. For 3. Good. 2. And 1. Finding plank. Lower forward and down in chaturanga. Slide upward facing dog. And then find downward facing. Holding here for 3. Good. It's almost time for a very short break. 2. Good. And for 1. Coming into child's pose, feel free to grab a drink of water. But once you get into child's, close your eyes and begin to tune in to how things feel. So because it's impossible for me to feel what you're feeling, I'm going to trust you to do just that. Closing the eyes. Just becoming a little bit more intuitive of what's going on. Whether this is your first time on the mat this week, or you're already a few classes in, beginning to come to yoga at home is not easy. So it takes a lot of work to do mindful work, to just recognize where you are in your practice. Sometimes it helps to do that in the middle of it, to pull yourself back on here if you're getting distracted. Just staying here in child's pose for a little bit longer. Feel free to wave or rather shimmy your hips in the air in child's pose. This allows your hips to get a little bit more lubricated, a little bit more open. Perhaps you can open your knees a little wider, moving into like a frog even. Frog, essentially your knees are quite wide on the mat. And then we think of sinking chest low, resting on the forearms, or seriously just entirely on the chest. But this does require quite open hips. So if you do have that, please feel free to get into it. Good. Whenever you're ready, join me into a downward facing dog. And then inhale to lift your right leg high. Good. As you exhale, knee in towards the nose, step the foot in between your palms. We think of heel to heel alignment here as we set up for warrior 1. Take a moment to tip your left hip forward. Good. With your front knee bent, we start to come up to stand. So both heels should be on the mat. If you need to shorten your stance, shorten it. Make sure both hip bones are facing the front of your space. And then lift your arms to hover alongside your ear. Bending the front knee a little more. Feel free to wiggle your front foot forward if you need. Take time to adjust. Good. Then from here, deep inhale. As you exhale, Lower your hands to frame the front foot. Begin to come to your left toe tip. Good. And then slowly start to rock your weight forward, lifting up into warrior 3. So we're going from warrior 1 into warrior 3. Hands can stay on the mat, or you can begin to lift your chest, hug triceps into your spine in warrior 3. Good. All toes facing, your left toes facing the floor, not out. Internally rotate the thigh. Good. Lower down to come into high lunge. And then open up into warrior 2. Looking just past your right fingertips. Keep it strong as you bend the front knee. We want here to have a heel to arch alignment, so take a glance down to see that happening. The back foot is parallel. The outer edge of the back foot is parallel to the end of your mat. Good. Inhale to reverse it back, stretching out through the right side body. And then inhaling to come back into warrior 2. From here, can you begin to lower your right palm down to the inner edge of right foot? Begin to swing your left arm down to the floor and then lift it high into your shape, lifting fingers up, not sinking it down, lifting up. Good. Begin to now reach your fingertips to the front, finding extended side angle. Now, as you can see, my chest and my belly are facing you. So the side of my mat, not the floor. Good. Inhaling back to center, frame the front foot. Finding full plank or 3-legged plank, lifting right foot high. Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. And then rolling over the toes to find downward facing. Really good. This time bend one knee after the other. Let it go. Again, full breaths on your own. When you're ready, lifting left leg high, pulling knee in towards your nose, and then stepping the foot in between your palms. So here we think of heel to, what did we do first? We went into warrior 1, right. So heel to heel alignment. We want the bum to not move out to the side. Rather, we want it to be here at the center. All right, so starting to move your left hip back as you start to stand, making sure the front knee is bent. As the back heel is on the floor, toes facing slightly forward. Good. Now, as you find warrior 1 on your own, can you pull belly button into the spine to avoid flaring your rib cage out? Keep it contained. Keeping it strong, steady. And then slowly lowering your hands to frame the front foot. Coming onto your toe tips on the right side. And beginning to rock forward, finding warrior 3. Now, personally for me, the side's always easier. So I can get into it quicker, but I'm going to slow it down so that I can think of these little cues, like turning my toes on the right side down to the mat, keeping my hips level, and then when I'm ready, lifting my arms alongside the body, squeezing them in, keeping my triceps on as I gaze down at the floor, not to the front of my space. Keeps the back of my neck long. Good. From here, lowering down to find high lunge. Checking in with your legs, your hips. Make sure they're facing forward. And then coming into my warrior 2, thinking heel to arch alignment as I bend the knee over the ankle and look past my fingertips. Good. Can you inhale to reverse? And then exhale to come back up into your warrior 2. Now, as you gaze past your fingertips, Take a deep exhale out, emptying out as best as you can. From here, lower your hand to the inner edge of your left foot. Begin to lift the chest, turn the belly towards the right side, lift arm high. Like you're getting pulled up, avoid sinking the weight down. Hold. Beginning to inhale back into your warrior two. And then slowly cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Move the foot all the way back to find full plank or three-legged. And then lower forward and down chaturanga. Sliding up to find upward facing dog. Good. Rolling over the toes to find downward facing. Hold here for 5. Good. If you'd like to do some twists, like reaching your hand back to opposite feet, go ahead. 4. Good. 2. Oh. And for 1. From down dog, just come onto your knees. Untuck your toes and begin to sit up. Now your hips are right below the rib cage, as you know. So instead of overarching your back, just really unsafe for the back and can really hurt you over time. Pull the navel into the spine. Think of sitting upright. Move your hands on top of your thighs, palms facing up. Take 3 breaths here on your own. I promise we're going to move soon, but let's take time to just be still. Got 20-ish more minutes to go together. 2 more. Inhale. And then an exhale. Inhale. Pull all the energy you can for the next few challenges. And then an exhale. All the way to the base of your spine. Okay. From here, palms down onto the mat, find downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your right leg high. Exhale, knee towards the nose, step the foot in between your hands. Open up into warrior 2. Inhale to reverse the warrior back. Exhale to come back to warrior 2. This time you straighten the front leg, tip the hips way back. Reach forward and reach a little more. And then lower the hand to the ankle to come into Trikonasana with your left fingertips pulling up. Good. Chest, belly to you, not the floor. So you guys do the same. Good. From here, beginning to come back into your warrior 2. When you're ready, lower your hand to your ankle, to the inner edge of your ankle. Begin to wrap your left arm behind you, across your lower back. And with your hand, your left hand sitting on your left hip crease, can you look up? Think of opening out through the shoulder. Let it feel really good. Now if you'd like to bind, and you're already there, perfect. Right arm underneath your right thigh bone as you clasp the hands together. If that's not happening for you today, no problem. Just focus on lifting up and not letting anything sink down. The legs are really strong here. Good. Inhale and to come back into warrior 2. Really good. When you're ready, hands at your hip bones. Turn your toes towards the left side. Beginning to lower and fold. Bringing attention to your hips. Make sure they're aligned to your heels. So if I were to, so if you guys look over at me, instead of sinking my bum back, I'm thinking of pulling bum to be in line with the heels. Good. The crown of your head rests on the floor, or maybe it's just your hands today. Good. Staying in forward fold. If you are going into tripod headstand, make sure your neck is very strong, and then move into your inversion. We stay for 3. Good. If you want a bit more twisties, reach your left arm for the outside of the right ankle, and then switch it up. Staying here for another 1. Finish off your breath. Good. And then come back to stand, wide-legged. Good. So from here, you guys are facing one side of your mat. Begin to turn the toes back to the front of the space. So turning all toes to the front. Slowly lowering down so that we're in low lunge again. And then clasping hands overhead, pointing your index fingers up. Inhale to pull up. And then as you exhale, can you remind yourself of that sinking action? And then feel the left hip open up even more. From here. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a back bend. Feel free to do this if you'd like. Let's begin to lower. Hands to frame the front foot. Step it back into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, roll over the toes to find downward facing. Bending one knee after the other. Again, let your shoulders relax. Pull them away from your ears. Good. When you're ready, lifting left leg high. Exhaling, knee towards the nose. Step the foot in between your palms. Opening up into warrior 2. Inhaling to reverse warrior back. And then exhaling to find warrior 2. Looking past your fingers and nowhere else. Keep it strong. Good. Make sure you're standing on both feet, okay? So we want the inner arches of the feet to be on as well. Straighten the front leg. Tip your hips back. Reach your fingers forward. More forward. Lower hand to the inner ankle. Begin to lift your right arm high in Trikonasana. Now again, similar to side angle, we don't want to sink way down. We want to be lifting way up. Good. Holding for another inhale. Oh, breathe. Just feel. Good. Coming back up into your warrior 2. And we now move into a bind for some of us. Hand to the inner ankle on the left foot. Wrapping right arm behind your lower back. Your hand sits at the left hip crease. From here, again, we clasp hands as you open up to the right side. So chest and belly not facing the floor. We face the right wall. Good. My bum in line with my heels. If you're not binding, again, no worries. Don't need to bind. Just can you think of lifting your chest towards the right wall. Opening up through the shoulders. Really good. Ooh, from here, let's get out of this. Begin to turn all toes towards the front of our space. Actually, no, before this, we should go into our wide-legged forward fold. So let's turn all toes towards the right side this time. With your bum in line with the heels, forward fold. Dropping the head down, the crown of your head meets the mat. Just hang out there, and again, feel free to shimmy your hips left to right to let it feel good. On your own. Breathing for 3. Good. 2. And for 1, coming up from this forward fold. This time, let's clasp our hands back. Let's just do some shoulder opening. Pull the hands down to the floor as they remain clasped, like you're holding something within your palms. And then take a deep inhale. Lift your chest, open the heart. And then as you exhale, fold. If your crown of your head touches the floor, good. Sink into it. If not, control the breathing. Breathe space where you're holding tension and see if you can move a little deeper. Gently let the hands go, rest them on the mat, and then begin to walk your hands to the front, framing the front foot. Lower right knee down, finding low lunge, and begin to come into clasp hands overhead, pointing index fingers up. Slight back bend for me, but again, I'm thinking still of pulling navel into my spine so that I'm keeping my center aware. Good. Inhale to pull up. And then as you exhale, sink your hips a little lower. Open up to the right hip. Oh, that should feel really good. Good. From here, framing the front foot, stepping the foot back to find plank, and then slowly lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and then roll over the toes to find downward facing dog. Good. Hold. Bending the knees, looking forward, stepping or hopping to the top of your space. From here, can you heel to your feet out about mat width distance? Begin to sink in squat pose, also known as Malasana. So here in Malasana, if you're very flexible and you're able to sink down and this is no big deal for you, how about we challenge that and begin to lift the bum up into a bit of a strengthening. So again, everyone's different. If you're flexible today, lift your bum up, push your knees out, just practice the strength of your legs and the openness in the hips. If getting into Malasana is tough and coming into this does not look ideal, no problem. Feel free to use your hands on the floor to support you. The end goal is to push the weight more and more to the outsides of the feet as you open up through the chest, keeping spine tall, looking forward. Good, hold. Continuing for 3. Can you close your eyes? 2. Good. And for 1. Hands down, back onto the mat. Begin to walk your feet in slightly. And then can you start to rest your kneecaps to the backs of your triceps? So my arms begin to look like little shells for my knees, for my legs. And then as I push into the ground, I practice crane pose, lifting my legs, my toes off the floor, hugging heels in towards my bum. Hold. My finger pads are also doing the work, keeping me balanced. For 2. Good. And for 1, feel free to step or jump into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Rolling over the toes to find downward facing. Holding for 3. Good. 2. And 1. Inhale to lift your right leg high. Exhale. Bring knee behind your right knee, finding pigeon pose. All right, so before we move any deeper, if pigeon is not safe for you, meaning your knees feel pinching or pain that moves beyond discomfort, please hold on. I'll provide a modification. If you are in pigeon, can you imagine as you lower your chest down, finding sleeping pigeon, your kneecaps are drawing together, right? So your hips are lifted off of the floor as your knees try to draw together. And you begin to feel the right outer hip really get a good stretch. Staying in pigeon. Pigeon's not your thing. Thread the needle, right? Thread the needle is awesome. If you have a knee sensitivity, just remember to flex the foot that's resisting the left knee. in pigeon, swinging onto the right side, coming to seated tree pose as the left leg extends forward, right foot comes to the inner thigh on the left leg. Good. Feel free to move hands down onto the floor, lift the bum up a little bit, and then sink it back down. Feel the sit bones meet the mat. Inhale to lift the arms up. And then as you exhale, forward fold over the legs, or the left leg, grabbing your foot or your shin. Can you land your forehead closer to your knee? Hold. Now here in forward folds, flex the left foot like you're driving the heel forward, and then feel the left calf getting a stretch. Good. And then inhale to come back to sit. Swing your right hand behind the bump, and then push your hand into the mat. Lift your pubic bone and find a slight back bend. Now from here, if you want to keep it or make it really challenging, listen up. If you're good here, just stay. If you want to move this into more of a back bend, we lower the left shoulder, moving your left arm further to the left side. Hold. Good. Pushing into the ground with your right hand, right fingers. Moving my left arm even more into space on the left side. Good. Oh yeah. Coming back up to sit. Let's all move right ankle outside of the left knee. Begin to hug your right shin, right leg in towards the chest. Oh man, that was a lot. That was good, but that was a lot. Good. Deep inhale to twist. Left elbow outside of the right kneecap. Open chest towards the right. Good. And then as you exhale, let's counter twist. Arms in chaturanga arms as you lower down to the left side. Good. Inhale to come back all the way up. Moving into downward facing. And then cycling through a flow if that's what you're looking for. All of us staying in downward facing. Good. One more breath in. Relax the shoulders as you exhale. Oh, yeah. Inhale to lift the left leg high. As you exhale, pull left knee behind the left wrist. Coming into pigeon. Again, if you're moving into thread the needle, you can make your way on there onto your back. In pigeon, let's start with straight spine, looking forward. As you move it into sleeping pigeon, again, imagine the kneecaps drawing together. You can feel and even see my bum lifting a little bit. You should feel that stretch sensation here on the left outer hip. Hold. Stay in for 3. 2. And 1. Coming back up. Oh, straight spine. Coming to the outer edge of your left hip. Swinging right leg forward. We're in seated tree. Again, hands alongside the bum to lift you up, and then sit back down. Feel your sit bones ground down onto the mat. Now my hip bones are facing the front of my space, not turning out towards the left, but the front of my space. Inhale to lift your arms high. Exhale to fold over the leg. Grab shin, grab foot. Can you rest your forehead onto your shin? Hold. Now, if you're here and you loved this practice, you liked the power effect, the power element to it, I host classes every week on my own channel. So please come join me on Mondays. I love power vinyasas, and it just seems like that's the kind of style I lean towards. So yeah, keeping that in mind, Mondays at 1 p.m. at my own channel. From here, let's come back to sit. Moving left arm back, hand behind the bum. Lifting pubic bone high, starting to find the bend. Good. Now here the option is to make it a deeper back bend. Lowering right shoulder down, my right arm moves back in space. This side I'm a lot tighter, so I won't move as far. But essentially, I'm looking to even bend the left arm as I pull my right arm towards the right side. Your glute also feels it. Good. When you're ready, coming back to sit. Left ankle moves outside of right knee. Hug left shin into your belly towards your chest. Move the right elbow outside of the left knee. Find a twist. Good. Now guys, if you're listening in still, I say if you're listening because I'm imagining people dropping off by this point, although it's beneficial to stay till the end. Please feel free to share videos and stories or whatever else you have with me online. I love seeing your practice, so keep that in mind. Tag me and keep sharing what you're up to. All right guys, counter twisting, bending the arms like you're in chaturanga towards the right side, raising the nose on the floor. Inhaling to come back up. Hug your knee in toward your chest. Oh, as you balance on the tailbone, close the eyes. Feel the sit bones, like literally feel them. Think of straight spine as you glue your belly and thighs together. We're gonna start to move into, what is this pose called? Oh my gosh, I forget. Boat pose. Last challenging pose, I promise, before we bring it down. All right, when you're ready, you can keep the knees bent as you raise your arms, point fingertips forward. If you'd like some more, straighten the legs, but still focus on straight spine. Good. Hold, shoulders away from the ears, straight spine. Pull legs even higher if they're straight. Good. When you're ready, deep inhale. As you exhale, low, hovering in low boat, hold. Good. We're going to stay and hold this for 10. Upper back should be lifted. 9. Looking forward, pointing your toes, reaching fingertips forward. 8. Really good. If you're trembling at the core, that's what we're looking for. 7. Keep going. Lift upper back. 6. Close your eyes. You have nowhere to look at. Just listen to my count. 5. Really good. Keep going. 4. Good. 3. I know. She's counting slow. 2. Oh my God. And 1. Let it go. Particularly, we will relax the neck, the shoulders. Feel free to raise or move your arms into a T. Moving knees out to diamond shape. And just rest here in Shavasana. To close practice, I'm going to close here, as in we're still together for about another minute, but I'm not going to get you up. I would just love to see you guys, metaphorically, not literally, just resting on your mat. So thank you so much again for joining me. Please stay here for 5 to 10 breaths on your own, even after I log off. But it was an absolute pleasure to lead you through practice. And again, I lead Power Vinyasas at 1 p.m. on Mondays on my own channel. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.